great. We have a special show for folks today. This is the animal show. And we asked everybody what was the #1 thing that people wanted to see, and what people said was they want to see animals. Absolutely. And so that is the show that we have for everybody today. And we're going to give just a minute for everybody to continue to join us. And we're still trying to sort out some of our technical issues. And I am going to need, let's see, I'm going to need somebody who is on the show, and I'm going to suggest that Adam Perlstein, if he's out there, LSOP moderator, go ahead and unmute so that you can talk and you can tell me if you're hearing anything, because we are having some technical issues.
I am hearing you just fine, Brian.
Awesome, awesome. And then Patrick is going to keep working on the Little Shop of Physics computer and seeing if we're getting that. But while we're getting started, Patrick is going to go ahead and wield the camera. And we're just...
Either I'm going to work on this.
Okay.
And if I can't work on this, if I wield the camera, you're going to use the order from there and the camera.
We'll just keep working on the audio, and I'll talk for a little while and tell people about what we got going on. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce the star of our show today, which isn't me. Star of our show, Milo, come here, buddy. Milo, come here. And we know on our Zoom world these days, Milo, come on, up. Yeah, you got it, bud. The stars of the show on our Zoom world is our pets. And this is my dog, Milo, who is a real sweetie. He doesn't like me wearing masks and shields. He is not a fan of that at all. But this is the animal show. And this was the thing which people asked for. Folks said, yeah, do a show on animals. And so we got Milo here, but we also had people sent us some videos. And we had a bunch of kids from the Poudre School District who sent us some stuff. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you our first video that we got to show you an example of the sort of thing that we have from people. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you the types of things which we are seeing. So I'm going to share my screen and show you some of the awesome videos that we got. And Milo, he's like, I am out of here. I am out of here. All right. And so we asked people to share videos of your pets doing cool sciencey things. And I'm not 100% sure that was the dog talking, but that was breathtakingly cute. And a lot of the videos that we have were just awesomely cute. Another thing which we were able to do is we were able to get some awesome videos from the folks at Scales and Tails, which is a local reptile store. And your name is, remind me.
Danny.
Danny. And this is Scales and Tails. All right, and we have some awesome stuff from Scales and Tails to show folks today. And what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my video, and I'm going to come back on here and just going to do our first little piece. I'm going to do our first little piece, and I'm going to teach you something about dogs, okay? And I'm going to see if I can convince Milo to come back up, and I'm going to see if I can get Milo up on the table where we can see how he is put together. And this is going to be a little bit, actually, the video that you folks are seeing is from my laptop, isn't it? Okay, there we go. Now we're seeing, that's perfect, that's perfect. We're seeing the LSOP video. I'm going to see if I can convince Milo to come up. And Patrick, how is the sound coming? Getting there. Milo, come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Milo, come here, buddy. Come here. And we're going to ask Adam if he's able to hear any sound. And Milo, we're going to need you up on. Oh, he is a little bit tormented here. Poor little fella. Someone convince him to be up on the table with us. Okay. Okay, sit, buddy. Poor little chap, poor little chap. And so we're going to turn around here, going to turn him around, and I'm going to show you something about your dog. And I know you think about your dog and you think about their feet as being these little things with the pads on them. But actually Milo's whole foot, like what corresponds to your foot? Yeah, that's right. You can stay right there, buddy. You're good. What corresponds to Milo's foot is this thing right here. I need you to stand up. There you go, stand up. It's this whole piece right here. This is what corresponds to your foot. And this is his ankle. This is his ankle. And these are the equivalent of your toes. This is like the toes, and the ball of your feet is kind of like right here. And this whole thing is his foot. And so Milo essentially is standing on his toes all the time. And so when dogs are jumping, they're jumping on their toes. And we got some awesome video of dogs doing that. And we're gonna let this poor little Milo character, we're gonna let him get down off the table. There you go, bud. There you go, bud. I'm sorry about that. Poor little chap. So I'm gonna go ahead and share a video of some dogs jumping on their toes. And this first one right here came from a Poudre School District story student. Let's see, this was, let's see, and I don't have that recorded, but this is from one of our Poudre School District folks. There it is. Look at that awesome dog. And it's even more awesome if you think what this dog is actually doing is just jumping on its toes. It's just jumping on its toes. That is an awesome, awesome thing. That is an awesome, awesome thing. And now, we also have wolves that jump like this. One of the Little Shop of Physics interns we had, her name is Jillian, works at the Wolf Sanctuary in northern Colorado, and she got us some great videos of wolves doing things. And here's a wolf, and it's jumping, and it's even worse if you think it is jumping on its toes, jumping on its toes, and pretty happy about it. Apparently getting a slice of cheese is something that wolves are equally excited about as other dogs are. And I'm going to just check and see how is our audio doing. And Adam, are you hearing any audio?
I hear you loud and clear, Brian, but I'm not hearing the other microphones.
Not hearing the other microphones. Okay, so what I'm going to do, okay. So folks, get your microphones. We're going to just take a second and work with our audio. And I see some folks are annotating the screen. And if Adam would be so kind as to prevent people from doing that, that would be great. We're going to switch to our headphones. No, it's okay. We're going to just go ahead and everybody's going to put their headphones and their microphones on and turn on their audio. And we're going to be listening in. All right. And sorry for the technical difficulties getting started, folks. But we have I think what we're going to do is we're going to switch from person to person. So now we're over to Brenna. And Brenna, go ahead and start talking. And Adam, tell me if you can hear her.
Alrighty, guys. So I
can hear her, yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's great.
So Brenna, introduce your pet.
I have my little friend here. His name is Cerebrus. He is a hermit crab. And something cool about hermit crabs is they don't have a skeleton. They have an exoskeleton. Okay? So they don't have any bones, but they have these little tendon pieces inside of their claws and stuff. And that is how they bend all their limbs. So Maud has a pretty funny story from when she went to Red Lobster. And she can probably tell that now.
Yeah, when I was a kid, when I was a little kid, my dad at Red Lobster, he used to get the king crab legs or whatever they were. And if you're really careful when you're taking that off, like if you're really careful with the crab leg and removing the claw, if you can keep that tendon and that ligament intact, you can push it back and forth and you can like snap the claw up and down. So he used to scare me and just hold the ligament and just come at me with a little crab claw.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about locomotion. Of course, Milo's got the legs, other animals have the legs, the hermit crabs have the legs so that they can get around and move from one place to another. And Maud has a little video of animals doing locomotion to share with us.
You're muted still, Maud.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
There we go. Alrighty. So here I have this locomotion video I put together using a bunch of different videos we got from people. So this is from one of Brian's physics students, and here we see locomotion in effect. And the big thing we're looking at here is the difference between the different gaits and the different speeds that the horse is going at. So you have a regular walk. This right here is a little bit of a trot, and you see him slowing down into a walk. Here we're going to see a gallop, and that's going a little bit faster. And horses actually have this interesting thing that they do. They have these sensitive pads under their feet, and there's a coffin bone is what it calls, and it pushes through these valves, and it basically just compresses and sends blood straight back up the legs to increase that circulation. And then
that looks like a gallop there.
And then here we have another gallop. And then here, what's interesting, if you look at the horse, it's leaning into the turn, as we have previously talked about in some of our spin shows and things like that. But something that's interesting is that it's really easy to see this in horses, but dogs actually do this too. And here we have a video from Laura Grissom with a very cute puppy. And here is Milo. And he's galloping and he's galloping and he's coming in and he trots all the way to the stop. And this dog here, the locomotion is a little different because he's going uphill. So the gallop isn't alternating between his feet anymore. He's going back feet and then front feet together so that he can jump and catch that ball.
Awesome. That's an awesome thing. Now, Maud talked about this idea that when horses walk, they're actually using their motion to pump blood. And dogs do something else when they locomote, where they use the energy from their locomotion to do something else for them. I'm going to show you how that works. So I'm going to pull this device over here. And this device, we call this a Harrington tube. And that was built by this Little Shop of Physics guy named Bradley Harrington. And there's a little elastic membrane here, and then a big tube. So there's lots of air in this tube. So the air comes out over here, and I have some feathers so that you can see the motion of the air. And if I push here, air comes out the other side. But since this is elastic, if I push in, air comes out, and then it kind of like goes back and forth. And you can see this elastic membrane is moving back and forth. It's pushing air in and out of the tube. And actually, it turns out dogs' breathing works like this. Dogs' breathing works like this. You have an elastic diaphragm that is pulling air in, and it's pulling air in and out of the nostrils. And it doesn't take very much energy to keep this going. I just have to give it a little bit of a push every cycle. And if I give it a little bit of a push, the air keeps coming and going. And the key thing is the air comes and goes at the same frequency. It's motion like a mass on a spring. And when you come to Colorado State University and take my class, we will teach you all about that. And so when dogs pant, that is what they are doing. And they're having this oscillatory motion of air in their lungs. And I got some little videos of Milo panting. And think about what he is doing is exactly like that, just giving a little bit of a push. And he's bringing that air in and out. It's mass on a spring. And when Milo gallops, I want you to listen to this. Every time his feet come down, everything in his chest compresses, and that pushes the air. He's using that to help him breathe. And so when he's doing that, listen, every time he comes down, he is pushing air out of his lungs, and then he brings it back in again. So he's actually driving that oscillation using his locomotion. Now, another thing we can look at is respiration in other animals. And here's respiration in a betta fish. And this is Brenna's betta fish. And betta fish have gills, but they also have...
Dahlia, speak.
And that's something we're going to come back to. Oh, hang on a second. I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Speak. Good.
Oh, yeah.
Lefty, speak. Speak.
And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here. There we go. We're going to come back to that speaking in a little bit. Okay, next up, we have Brenna is going to show us a little way that animals communicate. And this is across lots of different species.
Yeah, so animals communicate just like people do. And one of the ways that they do this is by showing that they do not want to be messed with. So can everybody see my video? We look all good? All right, so this is my cat, Peanut. She's not by Jojo. Jojo can't get her and she can't get Jojo, but she is letting Jojo know that she does not want to be messed with. And this is just using her vocal cords and tracks.
Oh, goodness, listen to that hiss.
And here she is, she's okay. But other animals do this as well, and one of the other animals that does this is reptiles.
Oh, no, maybe you're saying. So they called earlier. Yeah.
So this guy's kind of neat because he's pulling in lots of air and he has very small nostrils. So when he pushes it out, it makes a hissing noise.
Exactly. I am always down to do that.
Yeah, didn't like that.
It's monitor.
Hi, you're making noise.
Very huffy puffy.
This guy's the same way, and I'm going to skip ahead to our last one, which is a wolf, which is a dog. And this guy, he is letting you know that he is big and you do not want to mess with him. Okay. Cool. And we will get back to animal senses in a little bit.
Awesome. That is an awesome, awesome thing. And next, we're going to talk about, we have animals, they hiss, they drive out a lot of air. And that's one way that they can make a lot of sound. But the other way they can do it is by howling and barking. So we're going to come back to our video. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we have some video of dogs barking. And this is using more of their vocal cords. And this was from Jan Nimlo, who's a 4th grade teacher and has 2 awesome dogs. This is Dahlia.
Speak.
And Dahlia is speaking to us.
Lefty, speak.
And Lefty.
Speak.
And using the vocal cords.
Speak. Good.
And making
Lefty,
the vocal
speak.
track go.
Speak. Speak. Oh, good.
Awesome, awesome
Speak.
thing.
Speak. Oh, good, you tried.
Now, other animals make vocalizations very, very differently. And I want to take a look here at a bird making a vocalization. And the birds don't use their vocal cords. What they do is they basically play their vocal tract like a flute. And that's a nightingale. No, sorry, not a nightingale. That's a meadowlark making this awesome, awesome sound. And wolves do something a little bit different. What wolves are going to do when they howl, they straighten out their vocal tract, and they're playing their vocal tract kind of like a trumpet. And we got some great video of wolves and wolf dog hybrids up at the wolf sanctuary. And watch how they straighten their necks out. All right, and they're making a lot of noise. And that is so that other dogs or animals can hear them. And so now that brings us into the realm of talking about senses. And Brenna has some things to share with us about animal senses.
That I do, Brian. So animals have eyes, ears, nose, and mouth, just like humans. And so I'm going to share a video of that. Let's see. And I want to, where is that option, Brian?
Oh, there's a little thing that shows up. Actually, just go ahead.
Okay, cool.
I'll do it for you.
So here we have various animals, and this video is some different animals reacting to chemical reactions. Oh, it's okay. Let's get back to that. Where'd it go?
Yeah, under annotate, you can disable annotations for others.
Where?
Click on annotate.
Okay, hold on, guys. Doesn't give me that option.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Keep going.
All right, let me get back to my video. We were just trying to figure out something. And if you guys could stop drawing on the screen, that would be great. But these are some animals reacting to some chemical reactions. And this dog, you can see, is kind of thinking about eating this vinegar and baking soda. The cat didn't like it very much, though. The next thing we have is this dog, and he is picking his specific toy. And we have some reptiles smelling. So these guys stick out their tongues, collect molecules, and then touch them to an internal nose that they have. So this is a blue-tongued skink. Let's reverse that just a little bit. Not that much. Let's see. Oh, this is our blue-tongued skink. You can see him collecting those molecules to put on his nose.
Awesome. Thank you, Brenna. And now another sense we want to talk about is eyes. And I'm going to show you a video of some animal eyes. And I'm going to ask people to don't draw on the screen. I know it sounds like fun, but that is something we're going to ask you not to do. All right, so we're going to switch over here. And first, we're going to show this video. We had this previously with Brenna. Brenna has this chicken. When she moves the chicken back and forth, the head does not move. Now, the cool thing about chicken eyes, they can't move them. They can't move them in their head. So if they want to stay looking at one thing, and this chicken does, it needs to keep its head in the same place. And Brenna, you told me that you could actually make a steady cam by taking your camera and putting it on the head of a chicken?
Yeah, you can. There's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube, actually.
About how you would do that? About how you would do that?
What happened?
It's working. Okay. There's an echo. Oh.
So
ask Adam if it's working, Brian. It looks like it's working.
Adam, is the audio working?
Yes, the audio is working.
So
Okay.
you can mute your computers.
All right.
Okay, so here's Brenna. And she is moving the chicken back and forth, and the chicken its head is not moving. Now, we want to look at other animals and what their eyes do. And here's a chameleon, and the chameleon has amazing eyes. And what happens is they can point in. The way he moves is really interesting. And the way that a chameleon actually tells where something is.
You can see he's constantly looking at both what's around him and where he's moving. They're definitely very cautious creatures.
And this chameleon really, really, really wanted to get on top of my camera.
He really wants to touch it.
He's swiveling his eyes around. He's moving his eyes in all directions. And the way the Milo promotes is really cool. They live in trees, and they're very, very careful to always have a good grip with their legs.
He really wants to touch it.
Very, very nimble. They move very, very slowly.
That is an interesting
thing. He's swiveling his eyes in all directions, and he says, "Yes, I want to get on top of that camera." Thank you very much to be on top of that camera. And there he goes. He is on top of the camera. Next piece of the puzzle we want to turn to is a rattlesnake. And this rattlesnake actually has two sets of eyes. And one of them is really subtle, but I want to pause that right here. There's the actual eye, and below it, there's a second set of vision organs that it uses to detect thermal radiation. And you emit thermal radiation. So the rattlesnake can see that you're there unless you're as cold as the environment around you, which means you're dead, in which case you don't care. And we will talk about that more on another show. And next up, we're going to go over to Brenna. And Brenna has some things to show us about ears.
Yeah, so I have a video of some skink's ears, and a skink is a reptile. We're getting some feedback here. There we go. All right. here is our skink buddy again. We're gonna see his ear. You can see it's just a big hole, and Brian actually said that you can see right through their head.
And that's what Danny told me at the scales and tails place. He said in the right light, you can see light coming through from the other side of its head, which is kind of an amazing thing.
Yeah, so their ears look a little bit different than ours, but now I'm going to show you how to do your own ears. So I made these ears in Little Shop, I think last year, and I can put them on, and I hear the world very different. I can actually hear the fan behind me a lot better than I could before. But if you don't have a
Brenna, what kind of ears are these? Like, what animal is this supposed to represent?
These are the I believe.
When I is a primate?
Yes, yes. And you can look up a picture of them. They're very funny looking. But if you want to make your own ears at home.
Oh, and Brenna, show us do you have another set?
I do, but they're back in the box over there. So
okay.
I didn't bring them out. They're actually broken. I haven't had the chance to fix them.
Okay.
But if you want to make your own ears, you can take your hands like this, kind of cup them and put them up and see how you hear the world differently. Listen for different sounds, have people talk to you, see how their voices sound. It's kind of neat. So animals hear in different ways.
And I would say go ahead and do those dog ears like that. You can do that and you make your ears highly directional. It's kind of an awesome, awesome thing to do. One other thing, we want to do two other things before we end today. And one thing we want to do is to show you a little video that's the cuteness overload. A lot of videos that people sent us didn't necessarily have so much science going on, but doggone it, they were cute. So it's time for the cuteness overload video. Let's see what we got. And these are all the different things that were sent by Poudre School District students as well as students in my class. There's Tanner and his blankets. There's a whole passel of golden retriever puppies. There's a little tug of war. Horses running around, chickens. And this is what we needed to finish this last episode before the holidays. After this episode, we're going to take a couple of weeks off, and we're going to be back on January 8th with a show about weather. And we are going to do a whole nother show on animals because people sent us so many awesome videos. People gave us so many awesome ideas. We're going to do the Animal Show Volume 2. Look at that hamster tearing it up. This is awesome. And the kitty is like, yeah, don't like that person's foot. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to unspotlight us. I want to do a gallery view. And I'm going to say, everybody here, we're going to go ahead and turn on your camera and show us your animals. This is how we're going to finish off the animal show. We got 2 more minutes. Let's put yourselves in the gallery view so we can see everybody who's here. Let's bring your animals on screen. Milo, come here, buddy. One last close-up for you, my friend. Here is my dog, Milo. And then Brenna's got Cerebrus. Oh, Milo is like not liking this at all.
So many animals.
Look at the animals. Oh my gosh. I'm seeing lots of dogs and cats and oh my gosh, Jan Nimla, I'm seeing Lefty and I'm seeing, oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, I needed to see this. This is what I needed to see to make me happy before I headed into my winter break. Oh, and I'm seeing people wearing Santa hats. Oh, look at little Arlo is down there. Arlo, you look kind of a little bit sad. And somebody's got some stuffed animals too, which is kind of awesome. Which is kind of awesome indeed. Kind of awesome indeed. Oh my goodness. This is the cuteness overload that I needed to take me into the holiday season. I want to say thanks to Brenna, thanks to Maud, thanks to Patrick and Adam for working all the technology. Thanks to all the people who join us. Thanks to all the people who sent us videos. Thanks to my students who sent us some videos. We're going to take a couple weeks off, but we will be back. And our next show is going to be all about the weather. So from all of us at Little Shop of Physics Live, including Milo, happy holidays to everybody. And we will see you in about 3 weeks' time. Bye-bye.